Hi, it's Cassie Hicks Kerr from Modern Marketing Spark, talking to you today about putting together a very simple 7-step social media plan. Now this works for any business, whether you're a coach, consultant, whether you're running a local business or an online business or you're a bricks and mortar business. This is a very simple framework that you can use to put together a social media strategy for your business. Now, I actually presented these 7 steps at a meeting recently, which has been recorded, and I'm going to share that with you. But unfortunately, the first couple of steps they didn't come across in the recording very well. So I've actually put together a couple of PowerPoint slides to cover number 1 and 2, and then 3 to 7 are covered in the recording. So, and you also hear the questions, which is really helpful. So let's have a look. Let's jump into the 7 steps for your social media plan. Number 1 is to determine your goals. It's really important that you understand what you're trying to achieve with social media, rather than just jumping in and randomly tweeting and sharing and posting and not really having a strategy behind it. So some of the reasons that you may be on social media or that you might want to consider: social media is all about building relationships, so please don't go onto social media and start selling your stuff. But what you might do is you might be looking to build your mailing list, promote an event, talk about your training services. You might be looking for partners. You might want to be building awareness of something new that you're doing, of your brand, if you're a new business. So there's lots of different reasons why you're on social media, and it's very important that you've got a clear goal in mind, so that you're very focused on what you're doing and you're doing it in the right way. Now, I always suggest to my clients that they focus on no more than 2 platforms. So pick the 2 platforms that are best fit for your business and spend your time on those 2 platforms. You'll find it makes you much more efficient and streamlined, and takes away a lot of the overwhelm that I know people often feel when they feel like they've got to be on 6 platforms constantly sharing and tweeting and coming up with amazingly fresh content all the time. Number 2 is to define your ideal client. Now, the analogy I like to use is dating, and this is something we talked about at the meeting. And I said, imagine that we were all single and we're going to go out after the meeting, we're all going to go and look for a partner. Now, would we all go rushing out into the town centre, around all the coffee shops and on the streets, accosting strangers randomly and saying, will you go out with me, will you be my friend, would you like me, and trying to get as many people as you could to hook up with you or to go out with you? No, you wouldn't dream of doing that, would you? None of us would. But that's what people do on social media. So we need to be a bit more strategic. We need to think, who's my ideal client? Who do I want to work with? Who am I looking for? And using the dating analogy again, let's imagine I love go-karting. And actually my boys do, and I quite like go-karting. So let's imagine I like go-karting. Again, am I going to go rushing around town, randomly asking people, do you like go-karting? Do you like go-karting? And talking about go-karting and hoping that I'm going to find some people that also like go-karting. I mean, I probably will meet some people that like go-karting, but it would be rather random and scattered. And again, that's what people do on social media. So you don't want to do that. A better approach would be for me to go and find a go-karting centre or a go-karting club and go and join that group and go and hang out with other people that love go-karting, because then I've got a much higher chance of, I'm probably going to meet someone else that loves go-karting. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your strategy for social media. So be really clear on who your ideal client is. It might be women entrepreneurs, it might be gardeners, it might be local businesses, but really have a think about who your ideal client is. Think about the demographics. What keeps them up at night? What are their interests? Where do they hang out? And that will help you again to be much more focused and much more streamlined with your social media. So think about your ideal customer, ideal client in terms of the demographics, and also think about what are their interests and what keeps them awake at night, but what are their hopes and dreams as well, because that's what you're really trying to tap into. So that's number 2. Number 3 is find out where your ideal clients hang out, and this goes back to the go-karting analogy. So the goal here really, I'm trying to keep this really, really short, is rather than you building a castle on LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever it might be, and hoping people will come and find you, which is really, you can do that, but it's really hard work. Companies spend thousands of pounds doing that. find out where your clients are hanging out and you go to them. So what you need to look at is blogs, forums, communities on Google+, LinkedIn groups. And if you do nothing else, if you only had 15 minutes a day to spend on your social media and you want to build your business, this is what I would focus on almost exclusively. Go and find those groups and places where your market's hanging out. So the LinkedIn groups, the Facebook groups, the communities, you can look at forums, whatever your area of interest is for your particular business, and you go and hang out where your clients are hanging out. So that's number 3, so I'll just put hang out. A big tip for you as well when you're looking at topics and where people are hanging out is to use hashtags. And does everyone know what a hashtag is? No. This is a hashtag. So of course, there's a hashtag for everything. You can make up hashtags too. Hashtag is when you put hashtag sign. And hashtags started off on Twitter. And on Twitter, hashtags, you can look at the trends of what most people are talking about based on these hashtags. Hashtag just means a topic. So when you're, let's say I'll use the martial arts as an example. If you've got a particular type of martial art that can you give an example of a particular type of martial art that you promote?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, okay. So you might use that as a hashtag, and you'd find hashtags for your particular type of martial art, and go and search for that. There's a brilliant, if you use the Twitter search tool, search.twitter, and go and put your hashtag in and find the keywords around the topic you're interested in, you'll find all the conversations about that topic on Twitter, and you can do the same on Google+. Because what you want to do is you want to find out where your clients are hanging out, and then you want to join in the conversations and find out what the topics that people are talking about of interest in your area. So for Polly it would be around style and fashion and colours. And hashtags are absolutely brilliant. So you can make hashtags up, but what's really, really powerful, again if you want to sort of really get things going quickly, is to look on Google Plus and Twitter at what's trending, go to the what's hot section and look at the trending hashtags. So depending on what's happening, it could be anything from a business-related hashtag, if something big happens in the business world. It could be Simon Cowell, if he's gone off and done something that he is in the newspapers for. So go and have a look at the hashtags. And what I do, I keep a list of hashtags in my particular niches, and I always go on and do a regular search and I see who's talking about what in list building or social media, whatever it might be. And that's a brilliant way to get right into the heart of where your clients are talking about your topics. And then you can be, the next step is...
But they could be talking about that in Scotland, and you're here.
There are local hashtags. In fact, there are hashtags for... I can't think I haven't got my list of hashtags. I can email it. Every Monday night from 8:30 to 9:30, there's local hashtag chats between Hertfordshire. There's a Hertfordshire business hashtag and a Bedfordshire business hashtag.
There's a Bucks one as well.
And a Bucks one. So you go on every Monday at 8:30. You go onto Twitter. You put in your Hertfordshire business hashtag, which I'll have to email because I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And all the Hertfordshire businesses that are involved in this group come and chat to each other during that hour. Hertfordshire Business Hour, I think it's called. So if you want to be really local with your marketing, use local hashtags. If you only work in Hertfordshire, you want to use all the Herts, Hertfordshire, St Albans, Watford, whatever your area is, you want to use those hashtags. So you can use those hashtags to really drill down. So number 4.
For example, you could do a hashtag with the name of your town and something like that.
Yeah, I would do that. If I ever put anything on work, there was hashtag Bovingdon, because there is a forum in Bovingdon, so at least it goes it that way.
And you'd be amazed, I mean, I'm a big dog lover, I've got a border collie, and you'd be amazed at the conversation people have about border collies and all the hashtags, and it's like a whole world, and you can't find it by just going into Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, because the groups are structured groups in a particular way, whereas when someone wants to talk about a border collie and how clever and lovely they are, they'll use the hashtags. So you've got topics going like this, I suppose, and hashtags are cutting this way through all the different levels. So use hashtags. That's a really, really important thing. So number 4 is engage. So once you've gone, you found out where your clients are, you found out these interesting conversations, go and join those conversations and go and be helpful, and you'll find people are
You can put another, with hashtags, this isn't a hashtag presentation, but you can put product names in as well. So someone says, oh, I like what's that camera you're using to video, which keeps falling off the table. That's the flip cam. So you could do hashtag flip cam, and you can find out and come up with all the reviews about my flip cam. Or if you're going to a particular place, if you're looking at destination marketing, or if you're looking at, I don't know, I'm going to a new area, what's going on in Bovingdon? You can hashtag to a particular area too. But anyway, so go into where people are congregating and join the conversation. That's the most important thing really with social media. You've got to be present. So it's all very well using all these scheduling tools, which are really helpful, but there's no substitute for turning up and being present. It's a bit, again, going back to the dating analogy, you can't just meet somebody once and then walk away and say, well, in 6 months I'll call them and we'll go out for a pizza. No, you've got to keep the relationship going, haven't you? And if you can be helpful rather than just promoting yourself all the time, that's really the key. And the ratio most people say is sort of, out of 10 interactions, 8 times you should be sharing other people's stuff or helping other people, and 2 times out of 10 you promote something that you're doing. That's roughly. So you're going on social media to meet people, to engage with them, to build relationships, and to, if you can, to add value. And if you're in a business where you're adding value and creating content, if you're blogging or writing articles or providing products, go ahead and promote them, but do it in a way that you're helping. So if I go and look at a conversation on list building, for example, or social media, and someone says, oh, how do I change my cover photo in Twitter? I will go in and I'll say, I wrote a blog post on that, here's the link. And then people will come to my website, and that's how you start to get traffic back from your social media. Number 5 is to look for content. So talking about being helpful and sharing value, if you're blogging or writing articles or you've got information, content it's called, for your business, then you want to share that. And I know something I get asked a lot about social media is people say, oh, I don't know what to say. How am I going to tweet 3 times a day for the next 3 years to my audience to build up this business? That's what I've read I need to do. Well, there's some fantastic free tools out there. Google Alerts is one of them. And you go to Google Alerts, just type that into Google, and you can put any keyword in. So you can put a keyword for your business, you can put a local keyword, you can put a keyword for a customer you're looking for or a topic that you're interested in, and it will send you a daily or weekly email with all the information from the internet gathered, it's like curated from all around the internet on that keyword. And I'll give you another tip, is to put your own business name or your personal name in and do a Google Alerts, because you want to see what people are saying about you, about your business. So I've got a Google Alert set up on my name and on my business name. So if anyone says anything about me anywhere on the internet, I get emailed. And that, if people are taking your stuff or people are saying nice things about you, you want to go and thank them. If they're saying bad things, you want to go in and say, actually, I did have a problem with that product, but I fixed it, or you want to be in control of what's being said about you on the internet. So Google Alerts, look at blogs in your field. Again, because you're going to be in all these groups, you're also going to meet the influencers in your field, and there'll be a lot of information being shared. It's quite overwhelming, but you'll soon find out who are the people that are worth listening to. And when you find people that are worth listening to, join their mailing list and start to get their stuff. And then you can share their content, so you're not having to write new content for social media. So I think people think, oh, I've got to write all these tweets, all these Facebook updates. You can actually share other people's content, and that's really useful for your audience. They don't necessarily want to hear from you 3 times a day or whatever it might be. Number 6. How am I doing for time, Leslie? You're on about 5 more minutes. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Number 6 is to measure your results. So here we are, we're in having these conversations, building these relationships, sharing content. It's all good stuff. You need to know how things are going, don't you? What I recommend is once a month to look at how you've done. Now there's some brilliant ways to do this. They're all free, they're all tools. If you've got a WordPress website, and I'm a big fan of WordPress, it's polymath, there's a plugin called Social Metrics, and every blog post and social interaction that goes out, this plugin will measure how many times it's been retweeted, liked, shared, and all of that, so you can see the virality. On Facebook, you've got Insights. If you go to your Facebook, if you've got a business page on Facebook, there's a section called Insights, and if you click on that, it will show you for every single piece that you've posted, every update you've shared, It can show you how many people have read it, how many times it's been shared. Google Plus, you've got Google Analytics, a bit more complicated. It's not hard to do, but it does take. You have to install it into your website. But then you can see the interaction. And on Google Plus, I'm a big Google Plus fan. When you post anything, it's got a little top right-hand corner. There's a little down arrow like this. And is anyone here using Google Plus?
Got it, yeah.
If you click on that, the whole page swivels round, and on the back of it, it's really clever. It swivels round. On the back, it tells you who's liked it and who's shared it.
I haven't really done much with it, to be honest. It's more of a case of people have asked me to join it, but I'm not really sure how to use it, so I've not really done it.
Just the thing for you.
But again, it seems to be one of those things that people just put you on. It's nothing I've got any interest in, and it's just...
You will do.
Yeah, and again, nothing's local, so that's why I haven't really done anything with it.
Do you know, I must just say, because I'm such a fan of Google Plus, it doesn't matter that it's not local. It doesn't matter if your clients are on it or not, because Google Plus is just a layer of Google, the search engine. And so whatever you do on Google Plus goes out to the whole of the internet. Whereas on Facebook, whatever you do on Facebook is only seen by people that have a Facebook account. Same with LinkedIn and Twitter. They're closed systems. And whatever you post on Facebook, LinkedIn and Twitter is not indexed by the search engines. Nobody can find you other than people that are your friends and fans, or people that search on a hashtag that you use within those systems. Google Plus is a completely open system across the whole internet. So people will find you and your content will be indexed and searched by the search engines regardless of whether someone else is on it or not. That's people, when people realise that, it's going to be, it's already overtaken. It's the second social media platform to Facebook. Anyway, I don't want to run over. So measure your results, and what I recommend is once a month, have a look at your feedback and how you've done. The articles and content you've shared that have been most popular, do more of that. It's really simple, but do more of what works, and you'll see some things you'll do, and sometimes there's no science to it, there's no reason for it, and you think, why did that particular thing that I said there get such a good response, and yet something else, no one was really that, I didn't get much feedback. Sometimes there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason, so you have to test. So just keep testing, looking at your feedback. So measure your results. And then number 7 in the plan is, I call it crank the handle, and it's just this, you've got to keep turning up and you've got to keep talking to people and you've got to just be present. Again, my advice, people always say to me, oh gosh, I've got to do all these different things. My advice is to just pick 2 platforms and get really good at 2 platforms and get comfortable with the groups. And I don't think it matters which 2, it might depend on your business. But pick 2 platforms and just really specialise in them. And it's better to be really good on 2 platforms, and you'll get traction and you'll get people coming to your website and you'll build that engagement and that traffic, than to try and do all 5 of the major platforms and be sort of spread yourself too thin. And I get so many people coming to me saying, oh, I'm working so hard on social media and I'm not getting any results. And the reason is because they're trying to do everything, so they're not actually being effective on any platform. So better pick 2 and be really good on 2. And cranking this handle is about consistency. So if you can spend 15 minutes a day on your 2 platforms, working through the 7 steps, going to the groups, chatting, sharing, on social media, I promise you, you will get results. I can promise you that, but you have to turn that handle. You can't come to me in 6 months' time and say it doesn't work. How long have you been on social media? Well, I maybe spent a couple of hours on a Sunday looking at pictures and I've done nothing for 3 weeks. It doesn't work. It's turning the handle. So that's the only bad news, I suppose. You've got to keep doing it. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
I've got a question. I've been inquiring about whether it's good to follow a competitor on Twitter or not. So
Absolutely,
a local competitor, and I wasn't sure whether to. So this morning I did. I took the plunge, but I wasn't sure whether that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're probably going to follow you, so you may as well. I think as well, competitors are potential partners as well, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that was my thinking.
Who's to say you might not do a joint venture deal with them in the future?
And then their followers might see that you followed them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because I've done quite well on Twitter, but I haven't really sold anything. But like you said, it's building up. and I've got a lot of companies following me, and that makes you feel quite good actually though when the other companies follow you.
I think you should, follow as many people as you can that you're interested in, because A, they're people you maybe want to connect with at some stage, but also you want to see what they're doing. So you can get ideas for your business, and you might see gaps. You might think, oh, they're doing really well in these areas, but there's a big gap, they're not doing this bit. Idea for a new product.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Do you think it's for all businesses? So, for example, mine's a little bit different. It's counselling services. So I'm just wondering, that's quite niche, and I just wondered if you've got any ideas about. And I have no idea about Twitter. Never Twittered, never been interested in it, but I will have a look. But I used to do marketing, so I will look at this. I'm a bit old-fashioned. So,
what's your reservation about social media for your business?
I just couldn't see a place for that with what I do. A lot of it, I guess I don't know enough about it, and it just looks like a lot of hot air. But from a business point of view, I'm not up to date on how relevant and how helpful it could really be.
I mean, I think if you're in the fortunate position where you don't need any more clients,
No, I'm starting off.
if you've got more clients than you can handle, then yeah, you don't need to do any marketing. But most people are always trying to keep their funnels full, if you like, and always looking for new leads, and that tends to be the thing that people ask for most, is how can I find new leads and potential customers? And social media is a brilliant way to do that. I would say for you as well, you've just won an award. Social media is a really good way for you to blow your trumpet and promote your business. You might not be directly saying, come and work with me, but you're saying, I'm an expert, I won an award, I've been recognised for what I do. And you will draw people to you in the most sort of marketing way, because you've already proven that you're good at what you do.
It's amazing how quickly a message shares. You multiply it, I don't know how many times, compared to the number of people you talk to in the room, and how long it takes for someone to refer you or I've met this business. With social media, it's super quick and it just explodes.
It's also social proof, because I think if I was looking for counselling, I would want to talk to people and say, guys, if any of you, can you recommend anybody? And I think if I saw that you'd been recommended, or a few people mentioned you, I said, oh, I've heard of somebody, or I've seen them, and you've got really good. Because social proof is really, really powerful.
I think the other issue, and I have the same with Sarah, both Indira and Sarah deal with very delicate topics. And they were concerned, they were very concerned about using Twitter. But as I said to Sarah, you don't do anything that in depth, but if you can blog simple, in Sarah's case she's a family mediator, so do you know that actually so-and-so law says so-and-so, without doing anything sensitive, it establishes her as the expert, and people will start to come and look at her site. Yes, and things that are not personalised, they're just, so you are established as someone that knows what you're doing. It's the same as Sarah.
Because news stories, there was a news story about Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she had some issues because of Michael Douglas's illness, didn't she? And and suddenly people saying, well, actually, if it's okay for her to go and talk to people, then it's okay for me. So that was like a celebrity version of social proof.
And I guess if there was a local, if I could find the right local kind of avenues, then it could be.
I suppose it's the kind of thing that people maybe don't want to talk to somebody else about, but they might look online for that service because they're trying to keep it to themselves until they find the right person to talk to. So
it took a long time for it actually.
It comes back to number one, which is what are your goals? What you're trying to do? I think you need to think about that first before you jump in. If Twitter's not your thing, don't use Twitter. You don't have to be on Twitter.
Actually, I was going to start on the same subject. I think what Leslie and I talked about is definitely the way forward for us and our business, but it is a very delicate subject, and I'm dealing with people who are in a very vulnerable place, are very hurt, and at that point in their lives potentially quite damaged, and their mindset is that they sometimes are looking to blame. So they can blame each other, or if there's somebody else, a solicitor, they could do it, and I'm worried about damaging feedback from that. Is there any way of limiting that risk, bearing in mind what we do?
I think that's where this conversation comes in, and doing the alerts, that if you can't stop people saying whatever they're going to say on social media, that's the thing. When you stick your head above the parapet, you're out there, aren't you? And you're going to get good and you're going to get bad. I think you have to keep up with what people are talking about and be able to go and respond. I think that is, it can be very difficult, can't it? But I think the worst thing is for someone to put something about anything, especially if it's a sensitive topic, and there's to be no response.
To be honest, Sarah, whether you're on Twitter or not, people are going to do that. So you might as well be on Twitter and know what they're doing, and then you can counteract, because they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's better to control that environment than to sort of hide away from it and just hope no one's saying anything about you out there.
I was going to say,
I can see.
So I was just going to say, it works in a positive way as well. There was a thing on TV a while back, it was a TV show, and my son was actually just stopped in Hemel and was on this show, and it was like they videoed you, and it was an old guy sort of said, "Can you scratch my back?" My son stopped. We had a plaster in his arm or something, and he stopped and did it. So we had all these people on Facebook, "Oh my God, we've just seen you," la la la. But it hit Twitter, and on it someone put, "Wow, an ex-student, how proud we are, Cavendish School," because that's where he went, because he had his old, he was running, he was jogging when he was caught, because he had his sports top on, Sport England picked it up and retweeted it, "How proud we are that our members of our group are caring people in the side." So they, seriously,
they turned it round.
It was fine, it was just one of those, I don't know, like crack candy carrot type things, I can't remember what it's called. But
it was the grandmothers, it was the
This is a Stephen Fry one.
No,
it was old
recent
people,
thing.
it was grandmothers and grandfathers.
That's it,
I can't remember what it was called.
We didn't even watch it.
Off Rockers.
That's it, Off the Rockers or something like that. Even my sister-in-law texted, "We've just seen him on TV," and I was like, because he'd been stopped, he came home one day, he went, "Oh, I got stopped, I did this thing," and he said, "Oh," and we'd forgotten all about it.
So you've been viral on social media without even intending to.
So
most people would kill for that. It's like, how can I do that?
Exactly. So I did put on a few bits and pieces, and then I said to him, you should, because he doesn't use Twitter, but he's the sports stuff were picking it up and running with it, and
And you know what you can do as well, and it's a strategy some people use. It's sort of called riding the wave, where you get the jet boat going and you jump on the back of the wave and you ride the wave. So if you see what's trending, or if there's something that's happened on the X Factor, say, or Downton Abbey's coming on a Sunday, isn't it? You can use that hashtag and say, you can jump onto that sort of in the wake of all the conversation, and try and say something useful rather than just, "Oh yes, I love Downton too." But
just on that subject, a colleague of mine, Kate Middleton, last year wore a particular dress, and this colleague of mine tweeted, "I've got that dress. It came from blah shop." That was picked up really quickly by the national press, and she had a double-page spread in the Daily Mail, based on
quite a bit, isn't she?
and Skipper.
Yeah.
Based just on one tweet, and that got her a double-page spread in the Daily Mail. Now, whether you now read or not, that's pretty useful for her business.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Anyone else?
Can I just ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Just about Facebook. A couple of things I don't really understand on there. When it says that it's been seen by 200 and something people, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is it just that somebody's actually gone in and physically read it, or it's just come up on their
unfortunately, that means it's gone into their news feed.
Okay, so if they've opened their news feed and my feed is in there, it just means that they've seen it. That's all it is.
But now Facebook, if you want to be at the top of people's news feeds, you have to pay. They've done
There's
this.
two types of advertising in there that I haven't really got my head around either. There's one called promote, and then there's advertising, and I've not really dabbled in either yet.
Facebook advertising is really powerful, but again, you need a strategy behind it, because you could end up spending money and not getting results.
I tried doing it once, and then it came, and I took a tiny bit of money because it then said that I've got too many words, and then it kind of stopped it. I didn't really know what I was doing.
But only about 2% of anything you post on Facebook gets seen by your fans and friends. Most of what you post no one sees, unless they're regularly interacting with you, unless you now pay.